start. I had handouts as well.
I know.
At the FWC meeting held in Duck Key, I came before you regarding non-releasable microbats. You had asked Robert Klepper to speak with me, who explained that as long as I had a vet letter stating the animal had quality of life, I shouldn't have an issue, and then put me in touch with Lieutenant Carroll, who also reiterated and said to reach out anytime. I received 2 bats with permanent injuries, one with a wrist fracture and the other was missing part of one wing. I rehabilitated both bats who recovered well. I followed all rules and took both bats to 3 vets with bat experience, and each signed off and approved that both had quality of life and would be good ambassadors. Despite this, the officer transferred the bats to a different vet. She also said the vet refused the special food I had provided, which meant the evening bat was not eating. I called Lieutenant Carroll, who said he was not getting involved as her lieutenant held the same rank as him. So I called the lieutenant, and he said the bats were at an avian vet who wanted to euthanize them. He said that the rules are vague enough for each officer to interpret on their own, and they have had some bad rehabbers and were trying to nip us into shape. He told me that officers that don't take wildlife to the vet themselves are lazy, and that my officer doesn't want to be my friend. She will be hard, and they commend her for that. I found this offensive, as I simply wanted to be treated with fairness, as all rehabbers I have spoken with have not had this issue when they presented their officer with a veterinarian approval letter. I also do not feel that myself or the animals in my care should suffer due to the sins of some bad rehabbers before me, especially when I have followed all rules. Bat veterinarian Dr. Cottrell also left a message for the lieutenant asking him to please not allow the euthanasia until she was able to speak with the appropriate people to find out the concern. The lieutenant never returned her call. I then spoke with the captain, who told me that both bats had been euthanized. The reasons I was given was the amputee was a public eyesore and they will not allow amputees, and the other was euthanized due to having neuro issues. He said they would never allow me to have them as ambassadors, as animals go to exhibits to be on display. He said the commission should not be telling me anything since they are not boots on the ground and involved in captive wildlife on a daily basis. Both bats were euthanized for reasons that do not make sense. Neuro issues were not diagnosed for the evening bat by any of the 3 veterinarians that approved her, and for the other, to say that a bat is a public eyesore due to being an amputee is unacceptable. There is also the concern as to how these bats were euthanized. The AVMA lists the freezing of conscious animals as inhumane. This is an unacceptable method, and I would like FWC to look into the method that was used on these bats. The rules are not the same for everyone. Most importantly, when the rules are so vague that it means the difference between life and death for an animal, depending on the officer or county you are in, there is a big problem. I urge you to pull the phone records of the people involved so you can hear for yourself that what I am telling you is the truth. I'm here today to ask you why this was allowed to happen, for justice for the 2 bats that suffered in the hands of FWC, and for transparency moving forward to avoid a situation such as this from ever happening again.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer. Colonel Smith, could you get with Jennifer and follow up on that?